In this experience, I would be in the view of another, a woman who found herself drifting to sleep one night, and as she did, she entered into a golden realm where there was nothing but light. She looked around in wonder and amazement, and from her point of view, I could see she had never experienced something like this before. As she looked around, she then looked to her left and saw one of my bodies and Rebisar standing there, and we were shining brightly, almost a silver-like gold color. And we looked at her as she tried to focus on us, but was having difficulties. Rebisar and I were in a type of super high definition that was super crystal clear and sharp, but required extra focus to be able to perceive. And as she blinked rapidly and did focus, was she able to make us out? And again, from her position, did she become overwhelmed with amazement and created a thought that she would like to be just like us? She then looked forward into a mirror where she saw her personal self objectively. She did not recognize this, but I impressed it upon her that she is indeed not the body at all, which, in this experience, was sporting tattered and worn out clothing. I began to impress upon her that this is the ideas she is carrying with her. It's not a literal idea of clothing, but rather that they are worn out and dated agreements or attachments to whatever systems she may belong to or agree with. I gave her an example of yesterday's newspaper, that you would not read old newspaper to get your current up-to-date news, and so the systems of the world are much the same, referencing old ideas, wisdoms, and literatures like the Bible, when really they are much like the clothing you are in, old and outdated, and quite frankly falling apart. I then positioned the view objective to her and my body to see that from her left side would I approach her, offering fresh garments that were white and made of cotton or wool, and without wrinkle or stain. She looked at the clothes in my hands, and her experience ended there. But it seemed that I continued to impress upon her that the reason the experience would end here is that it's a choice to be made, as it's your life and you have the free will to decide what you will, and if interested, then simply decide to investigate. This experience was interesting for me as I was in her shoes, so to speak. I could see the confusion and the amazement, the curiosity and the apprehension. And because I was able to view it from her position and see how she would react, so could I, with real guide assistance, set up a situation where I could give her the main ideas and in a beneficial manner according to her particularities or individual consciousness. And that was my experience to share. Thank you.